Hello, hello, hello. This is the Book of Aliel cast, and I am Linwood Cox Jr., who you're going to be hanging out with for a little bit. Um, Owner and CEO of Imago Day Fashion Consulting. Just wanted to make a quick video today to just talk about mental health. As the seasons are changing, moving from the summertime with all the busyness and vacations, I think it's appropriate as things tend to slow down a bit once the fall time comes in to talk about a major issue. I think a major issue in culture in generally, but then also a major conversation for men, considering that men never talk about their mental health, really. And really, today I want to talk about having a counselor. Now, I always talk about things tangibly because I don't want to just talk about the area space itself, but then talk about, practically what can you do in your life to be able to enhance your life in this way. And a mental health coach is paramount. I don't know how many men that I've talked to where, there's always a demonizing, if that's a word, demonizing idea when it comes to mental health. But then when it comes to actually having a counselor, how extremely important it is. What I will say is that, these are my thoughts. That generally in culture, and I had a buddy tell me this, and it changed me paramount on the way that I thought about conversations. We spend a lot of our time in isolation. Solidarity is our characteristic that we have, or our caricature that we put on ourselves as men. And so therefore, because we don't have real relationships, we are not able to ascertain truly who we are as an individual and our identity, but then also appropriately speak to who we are in the people's lives that we have. And then so if you look at the past, and this is what a friend told me, culture used to be very open door. You lived in an epicenter, a city, a town where you could literally go outside and you would talk to your neighbors. Now people don't do that, not often. Most people live in apartment condominiums and complexes, housing condominiums, and apartment complexes where they don't know the actual people who they have that they are integrated with. And to be completely honest, even in the spaces of corporate America, you don't really know the people who you are. So it's very paramount that, you begin to build real relationships. But one of the relationships that we're not willing to give truth to, that used to be had in culture before but doesn't exist now, are counselors. Counselors to me are individuals who are 2 to 3 steps in front of you in life. They've experienced things, they have eyesight and vision, not only to their past as experiences, but then also the future, what they're walking in now and what you can look forward to be walking into to better yourselves. These would have been grandfathers, grandparents, which we don't have often a lot of conversations with, but then also our fathers. Now, a lot of men have good relationships with their fathers as well. So in the event that these were things that were in culture that were very prominent, now they're gone. So where do we fit the balance in? Where do we fit that balance into where there was something that was taken out of culture and now I need it in my health as a man? If you talk to me personally about myself as an individual, you have to understand that when you spend life, and when I've spent life in isolation, you internalize things a lot. The things that you deal with internally express themselves externally, no matter if it's in your vocation or if it's in the relationships that you have. And in most cases, men, emotional intelligence, EQ, is based off of you being able to have experiences within your life yourself, see them correctly so that you can perform adequately in your life, healthy responses. But we're just not doing that now. And men have to be honest about the way that they respond to the things that they have. When you spend a decent amount of your time, whether or not it's within college and stuff, isolated, you leave a lot of opinions of not only about your world, but then how you view yourself open to not anyone having an opinion about these things, right? So you're not getting any critique on these things. So, anxieties and depressions come from, right? Anxieties, I got this from a friend as well, a different friend, that anxieties are often future thought. So based off a diagram or a picture that you have in your mind as to the way things are supposed to be, when things don't happen the way that you want them to, you get anxious, and you get anxious for no reason. And then also when it comes to past experiences, you're more prone to be depressed, right? The reason why depression is big is because you have traumas that you haven't worked out with, and honestly traumas that I've experienced, as I've told people in previous videos that, I was sexually abused when I was a child. So, but for the life of me, I took those experiences and I just made them cartoon wise, because, most of the abuses that men and people experience in general those traumas happen when you're a child. So you internalize those things the wrong way. And if you haven't had a conversation with an individual to where you've been able to pull out those things that you keep closeted and really talk about how you truly interpreted those things, get a real truth to the lies that you believed, so that you can get internal healing, so you can have better relationships and you can relate to yourself better, then you'll always feel like you're stuck. And it won't matter what sphere that you work in, and any amount of influence that you work in, and how much influence that you have, and how much experience you have, money that you have. If you're enslaved in these experiences, then you're not healthy, and you have to be honest about that. Truthfully, what I will say practically is that I've had that, with my counselor, and I meet with him. Well, he started off every week, but then we moved into more of like a bi-weekly schedule. But, me personally, but just because of my life and the guidance that I want, I will never not have a time in my life to where I won't have an individual, and hopefully long term, to be able to talk to and counsel me about personally. Even if you're able to get men, and men are generally, willing to get professional counseling when it comes to being able to better themselves in a career, but internally, right? Being able to have those conversations, I feel like that there's nothing that you could really spend your money on that that would be more paramount to your success and your health. Lasting thoughts that I will say on, mental health, but then also in getting a coach. Don't get a coach that's just going to tell you that everything about yourself is cool and not micromanage, but just tell you things that are going to make you feel good about yourself, but aren't going to challenge you to excel, aren't going to challenge you to deal with the actual things that are going on with you. My advice is, and I've not withheld saying what my views are, the Christian views, having a viewpoint that says, okay, these are things that are wrong. We need to change in the world. That's not a worldly principle right now. The worldly principle is to say that everything about you is cool, except all that you are and stuff. And that's a huge problem. And this is what I believe. So not only in the cases of getting mental health coaching, but also don't just take one that's going to that you fill out an ad for and stuff. Really do your research and make sure that you get someone that's credible. Lasting thoughts then is that if there's anyone out there, I do have coaching opportunities. If there's anyone that wants to have a couch session to where we have a conversation just about life in general, and I'm not a coach, but I am willing to be able to talk with those just as a general friend, and maybe have a conversation with you about your life in general, and then give you the professional guidance that you need and push you a person to talk to on a professional level. I do have some resources that I'll be able to give to you out there, so that you can get and talk to someone more extensively after the conversation that we have. So if you want to have a conversation, let's do that. Check me out on imagodayfashion.com. You can email me at imagodayfashion@gmail.com, and we can set up a talk. Love you guys. Thank you. If you're out there, really give it a serious consideration. I hope that I've given you some good, ample talking points on this. But be blessed, and I'll talk to you next time.